Chris from Pickdawgz.com here with the Wraparound. We're going to be breaking down the NHL action going down on Monday, April 14th, 2025. If you like this content, make sure you smash that thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. Let me know your NHL picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily $15 best bet, head to Pickdawgz.com. Click the Premium Picks tab at the top of the page. It's a great time to do so because we have a lot of action lined up this week. Major League Baseball all week long. The NHL regular season wraps up on Thursday, and we've got the NBA play-in tournament Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and then the playoffs are, kicking into full gear soon. So make sure that you jump on board. Remember to use that promo code PICK at checkout for 15% off your purchase. But we're here to talk about a 6-game NHL card on Monday. The Wraparound, I had to take a day off yesterday. I wasn't feeling too hot, and usually while I try to roll sick, I couldn't do it yesterday. But we're back at it today. We're going to go strong. We're going to finish out the regular season strong. Only a couple days left. Only a couple games where teams are still fighting for something, so definitely have to navigate the card carefully here. I'm going to be treading lightly the next couple days with the NHL until the playoffs really start. But let's talk about it. You guys know the drill. You ready? I'm ready. Let's get into it. Our first game comes to us from the Bell Center, where the Montreal Canadiens take on the Chicago Blackhawks. And I think all of the motivation is on the Montreal Canadiens in this spot. Would I love to take, a team like Chicago here to potentially spring the upset? Sure. But the thing is, Montreal, it needs 1 point to get to that margin to where they could eliminate the Columbus Blue Jackets, but I don't even think they want to leave it to chance. I think that they want to get a win here, leave no tiebreaker possibilities for the Blue Jackets here, who have suddenly caught fire and won 4 straight games. Montreal, they're catching the right team at the right time. They need a win, and they're taking on a Blackhawks team that's been arguably the worst in the NHL on the road this season, with an 8-26-5 road record this season. Only one of 2 teams with single-digit road victories, and it is just not a good look for the Chicago Blackhawks. I think Chicago, unfortunately, just gets crushed in this game. I think that the Bell Center is going to be rocking for this one for their chance to clinch a playoff spot. So give me the Montreal Canadiens to win this one in regulation and on the puck line in this one. Now we head to the Little Caesars Arena, where the Detroit Red Wings take on the Dallas Stars. And, the Detroit Red Wings already on the outside looking in, and the Dallas Stars have already clinched their spot in the postseason. They can't move up or down. So it's just a matter of, where the Dallas Stars' motivation lies heading into the postseason, as I'm sure they don't want to backpedal into the playoffs. They have 2 games left. I'm sure they don't want to go in on a 7-game losing streak. But it's hard to lay this kind of price with the Dallas Stars, like I said, in their current form. Detroit has still been competitive despite being knocked out of the postseason, and on home ice is where they played their best hockey this season. So rather than mess around and try to split hairs on the side here, because I do think the Dallas Stars are the better team, I'm going to roll with the over here. The Dallas Stars defensively have been shaky as of late. The goaltending has been shaky, but the goaltending for the Detroit Red Wings is it can be suspect at times in its own right, and I still feel like the Dallas Stars have the more talented goaltending tandem, but both these teams can light up the scoreboards. I think this is going to be a higher scoring game, so I'm going to lean towards the over in this one. Now we head to the Amerant Bank Arena, where the Florida Panthers take on the New York Rangers. And, just a matchup again where one team has motivation, the other one doesn't. And for the Rangers, it's been a little more evident. This is one of the more disappointing Rangers teams that we've seen in recent memory. And, they went from a team that was really solid last season and, doing a good job of, controlling their own fate and, just beating up on teams last year, to now being on the outside looking in. And, the Florida Panthers right now, they're in a playoff spot, but they could still catch the Tampa Bay Lightning and lock up potentially home ice for the first round of their playoff series. Now, they do play Tampa Bay in the final game of the regular season. So if all of a sudden the Florida Panthers pull level with the Lightning, that game for the final game of the regular season is for home ice. So I think the Panthers show up here with motivation on their side. The Rangers, like I said, are just not playing well down the stretch. The Panthers have found a way to win 3 in a row. So I'm going to roll with the Florida Panthers to win this one on the money line or in regulation. Now we head to the Bridgestone Arena, where the Nashville Predators take on the Utah Hockey Club. And for me, it's simple. The Nashville Predators have been the worst money-making team in the NHL this season. They've been the most disappointing team in the NHL this season compared to preseason expectations. I keep talking about it. People had Stanley Cup wagers on the Nashville Predators with all the moves his team made in the offseason, and how this team was expected to do very, very well, and they just came out flat out of the gate. They couldn't win games on the road. They are at home for this game, but Utah's played their better hockey on the road as it is. And I think this is one of those games where the price is telling you where you need to be in this one. Do I agree with the price being this heavy? Absolutely not. So that's why I'm taking the Utah Hockey Club in regulation to get this price down to something more manageable. But like I said, just fading the Predators has sort of been an auto bet at this point, and I tell you, we've done pretty well with it as well. Next, we head to Rogers Place, where the Los Angeles Kings take on the Anaheim Ducks. And, the Los Angeles Kings, my premonition unfortunately couldn't come true, where the Los Angeles Kings could catch the Vegas Golden Knights. But this is going to be another, tricky spot for the Los Angeles Kings, because they are on the road where they've been less effective this season. And I do think that they're going to want to make sure that they don't give up any extra points to the Edmonton Oilers here, who are trying to chase down the Kings for home ice. And like I said, with how good LA has been at home ice is going to be imperative. These two teams facing off in the first round. But the thing is, in this matchup, the Oilers have been banged up as well. And like I said, with this being likely being the first round matchup between these two teams, I don't think they're going to want to put anything on film. I don't think they're going to want to give anything away. I think this is going to be a fairly cautious and just a fairly timid matchup where, like I said, they're not going to want to, show their hand too early prior to the playoff series. So I'm going to lean towards the under in this one. The two matchups this season in the regular season have been lower scoring. I think this one can be as well. Give me the under between the Kings and the Oilers. Our final game on Monday's card takes us to Rogers Arena, where the Vancouver Canucks take on the San Jose Sharks. And for me, this is just simply the Vancouver Canucks being overpriced, and I get it. The San Jose Sharks have been one of the worst teams in the NHL this season, especially on the road, where they were 8-23-9 this year. But the San Jose Sharks, head-to-head between the Canucks, even though the Canucks have won 4 straight, all 3 meetings this season have been decided by a single goal. The last meeting in San Jose needed overtime. The Vancouver Canucks have been far less effective at home this season. They've dropped 3 of their last 4 games at home. And the San Jose Sharks have been a lot more competitive in some of their recent road games. A couple of those needed extra time. I mean, they lost 8-7 in overtime to Minnesota, 4-3 in a shootout to Anaheim. At this price, I can't back the Canucks. I think it's worth taking a shot here on the Sharks, plus 1.5 at the very least, given the history of this matchup between these two teams this season. And we're taking a sprinkle on Sharks money line to round things out. That's it. That's all the NHL action for Monday, April 14th, 2025. If you like this content, make sure you smash that thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. Let me know your NHL picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily $15 best bet, head to pickdawgz.com, click the Premium Picks tab at the top of the page, and remember to use the promo code PICK at checkout for 15% off your purchase. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys soon.